Yeah, I mean, like, but it's for the whole, like, for that Thursday, they're all week. Nobody, yeah, exactly. Okay. They're all like 5 o'clock. Yeah, but you know, I don't want to do all that. What am I going to do at 8 o'clock? It's tough to get together. There's nothing. Have a networking event. Yeah, we'll give it a couple minutes, no worries. You can get started? Okay. Sounds good. Let me cut this down.
All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday, almost Friday. My name is Sarah Beth Harris. I am one of the program coordinators here for Research Technical Foundation. And one of my jobs is to bring these awesome programs to you guys. So thank you guys for coming, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. We're really excited that you're here. But On the Menu isn't our only program. We have lots of other things going on weekly, monthly, and even quarterly. One of those quarterly events is our T180, and it is actually happening next Thursday. That event is similar to a TED Talk style. You'll hear from a lot of really important individuals who are experts in their field. They'll be giving 5-minute pitches, similar to what we're learning about today, about history, specifically in RTP, that really micro history. And leading up to that, we have a happy hour that's filled with a lot of special guests that will be able to teach you more about history of Durham, Raleigh, and even some frontier history. So it's definitely an event you don't want to miss, and tickets are available right now on Ticket Tailor. You can also find it through our website. But today we are here for On the Menu, and we are very excited to have Zakiya here to talk with us about pitches and how you can utilize your words to be very powerful. So please help me welcome Zakiya to the stage.
Thank you, thank you. So, good afternoon. All right, you guys are doing all right. I like to kind of test the room to see what's happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about me and why, from my perspective, I am positioned perfectly to share this with you today. Okay, so a little bit about my background. Essentially, I'm the type of person that always felt like my success in life would come from my passions, following my passions. So at the young age of 16, maybe 17, we're all asked a really important question. What do you want to do with the rest of your life before college, right? And I think that's a really unfair question to ask a 16 or 17-year-old. I mean, they barely know what they want to do with the rest of the day, much less the rest of their lives. So I couldn't answer that question, but what I could answer was, what do I want to do for the next few years? So undergrad, I went to school at Florida State University. I majored in dance. They had the #1 public school in the nation at that time for dance. And so I said, if I get it, I'm going. I went, okay? It was great. It was fantastic. I also minored in business while I was there. Now, I would like to say it's because I was brilliant, but really it's because my dad was like, okay, dance is cool, but you need something else. So I minored in business. After school, I traveled the world performing and dancing. I did a pivot, went to a commercialized form of dance, joined the Atlanta Hawks NBA dance team, spent 4 years with the Hawks performing, moved out to Los Angeles, did all of the entertainment and arts things you could do. I stepped to the other side of the table and I produced a show, right? So I produced a show, I sold a pilot. Don't ask me the name of it because they didn't take it to series, but I did sell a pilot, which was a huge deal, kind of for my first thing that I produced. Well, during this time, right, the Hawks called me and said, hey, Zakiya, can you come back to the organization for us? And can you run an audition for us, right? You were with us for many years. Can you come run the audition? Can you do the choreography? Can you help us select the participants who are going to be on the team? I said, sure, no problem. So I went back. It was great. It was fun. While I was there, a lot of people came up to me and they said, Zakiya, I've had this dream of becoming a professional NBA dancer or, Dallas Cowboy cheerleader or whatever the thing is my entire life, and I cannot achieve the goal. Can you help me? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just here to do this audition, but I mean, put your name on this paper, and if I come up with something, I'll let you know, okay? So during the time that I was running this audition, I got to sit on the other side of the table. That's a theme you'll hear a lot. I got to sit on the other side of the table. I got to sit with the decision makers at the Atlanta Hawks. I got to see what they were really looking for in a brand ambassador, right? So I said, I think I do have a solution for you guys on this piece of paper. I started a company called Z Pro Prep. Essentially, Z Pro Prep was a training company and consulting firm for women nationwide who are trying to become professional NFL and NBA dancers, cheerleaders, things of that nature. It went very well. We had placements on teams like the Lakers and the Panthers and the Hornets and the Buccaneers and the Jets all over. It was really, really great, right? But the reason I was able to make that happen is because I went from being a dancer to sitting on the other side of the table. So it gave me a 360-degree perspective, okay? So fast forward after that, I said, this is cool. This is really cool. I get the grassroots space, but I wanted to understand big business and enterprise. That led me back to Duke University's Fuqua School of Business, where I got my executive MBA. Did everything entrepreneurial you could do at that time, right? I was a Melissa and Doug Fellow. I was in Student Founders. I got my concentration in innovation and entrepreneurship. It was fantastic. So what did I do after I got my MBA and all of these entrepreneurial things? I started a company, right? I didn't. I made a pivot. I wanted to try something different. Entrepreneurship was cool, but it was really hard. Some of you guys understand that. It was really, really difficult. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try my hand at corporate. I think that's where I'll fit in. I think that's where a former dancer turned entrepreneur will fit in. In corporate, not sure what I was thinking. Spent some time at the Clorox company, enjoyed it. It's a part of my journey. It makes sense now as a VC, right? But at the time, I realized this wasn't the thing for me. So made a pivot. This opportunity opened up an idea from partners. Now I'm a venture capitalist. I have the opportunity to support portfolio companies. I have the opportunity to fund, some of you have companies here, to fund companies. I have the opportunity to meet investors. I mean, it's really kind of perfectly positioned for where I am now. But here's my point. I was a cheerleader / dancer. Nothing more exciting than getting the home team riled up when they're losing by 20 points. I was a founder. I have founder empathy. I understand what you're going through. Now I'm on the other side of the table as a venture capitalist. I know what people are looking for in really great companies. So I believe I am positioned to tell you how to get investors and anyone else excited about your company. So know that we're always pitching, guys, no matter what, we're pitching. You're pitching to seek customers. You're pitching to seek mentors. You are pitching just, to persuade people on the product that you sell. And so essentially, after this presentation, you should be able to craft a pitch that's going to resonate with your audience, whoever they are. You should be able to inspire enthusiasm. And ultimately, I believe that will drive results. So that's where we're going. Any questions so far? All right. Well, let's get cracking. So let me start for what you need to do when you're pitching to anyone. The first thing I need for you to do is be really excited about your company. I want you to look at these folks here. These people are excited. They got smiles on their faces, hands in the air. I'm sure if it was a video, they'd be waving them around like they just don't care. You got confetti coming from the ceiling. These guys are super excited. Now, to some of you, actually raise your hand if you're currently running a company. Okay, hands down. Raise your hand if you hope to be. Okay, and for people that didn't put your hands up, let me know so I can make sure I understand what I need to be telling you. What are you guys here? Who are you? Figuring it out, that makes sense. Figuring.
So pitching myself.
Perfect, okay, so this will apply. Fantastic, you're in the right place. So the reason I say get excited about your company, that may seem like a no-brainer. And for those of you that are job hunting or thinking about it, think of your company as yourself. The reason I tell you to get excited is for a couple of different reasons. One, some of you have been running businesses. You've been running them for some time now, right? And so that excitement has potentially started to die down a little bit. It's like a new relationship, right? You're excited, you walk down the aisle, everybody's smiling. 10, 15 years later, not so much. So you need to keep that enthusiasm for individuals who they don't know your solution, they don't know your company. You have to stay intentional about being incredibly excited, right? So let's first talk about passion. You having passion for your company is incredibly infectious. And like I said, these may seem like no-brainers, but we see 2,000 deals a year. We see pitches all the time. And one thing that I see amongst founders is they just simply aren't excited about their solution anymore. And maybe it's because as a founder, you hear the good, you hear the bad, you hear the ugly. You understand all the reasons people love your product, but you also understand all the reasons that people who have decided not to engage in your product don't like it. And so you start to internalize some of those things. So what I'm telling you to do is get all of that out of your mind and be really passionate about your company and the solution that you're bringing to market. Be passionate about yourself, your skill set, right? No one needs to know what your company doesn't have. Let's just focus on what you do have and focus on those things, all right? I need a strong conviction, right? You have to believe in your product despite what it's missing. If you're the founder of a company, you understand on the backside kind of where the opportunity areas are, but other people don't know that. So I need for you to believe in your product, be convicted that this will solve the problem that it's meant to solve. And then lastly, you have to be enthusiastic. If you aren't enthusiastic about your product, then we won't be enthusiastic about your product either. So that's kind of high level pitching to anyone in the ecosystem. Now, one thing that's really important is to remember your personal why, right? Why you started the company, what it is that drives you. That's something that should be in your mind all the time. Remember that your solution is absolutely needed. So, a couple of things I want you to make sure you do before you go out and you pitch to anyone. One, identify the pain point. What is the pain point that the market has for your product? Sometimes we create a solution and we think we're solving a problem, but very shortly after getting into your particular company, you realize that there's another problem that your product or service could be solving. So make sure you have clearly identified the pain point that your customer has. You need to understand what the need is for your product, right? So we have vitamin needs and we have pain pill needs. Make sure that the problem you're solving is a pain pill type of problem. Vitamins, am I going to get up in the middle of the night and go to the grocery store to get some vitamin D? Probably not. If I have a headache that will not go away and that's keeping me from sleeping, will I get up and go get some Tylenol? Probably so. So make sure you are solving a pain pill problem. Second, make sure you can clearly articulate the value, right? Be very, very clear. Sometimes when I speak to entrepreneurs and the value you bring as a person, sometimes when I'm speaking to entrepreneurs, I ask them, hey, what is your product? And they go around and around in circles, and I never quite understand the value of what they're bringing to the table. And last, I need you to emphasize the impact. Everyone does this differently. Emphasize the impact. What are you doing in the market? Do you have testimonials? Are people singing your praises? What is the impact that your particular product or service is making in the market? Questions about that? You guys got it? This is interactive. Do you all have it? Great. It's time for pitch practice since you've got it. Hope you've been taking notes. Been taking notes? You guys are a silent bunch this morning. Okay, fantastic. So this is what you're going to do. You are going to partner with someone in this room who you have not met yet. You are going to give them a 30-second pitch as if they are anyone in the ecosystem, and you are going to include all of these things. After they give you the 30-second pitch, the person that you just pitched to, write down as much information as you remember based on what they told you. Then we will switch it and do the same for the other person. And then from there, we'll come back. Ready? Break. Or someone, if you've met them briefly, like in the lobby, but you really don't know them, but get out of your comfort zone, guys. Try to pitch to someone who you don't know well at all. For those of you that are online, please practice your pitch with someone who's at home with you, or the mirror, or your dog, or the statue sitting on your mantle, but practice. You have 30 seconds.
Great. Yeah, I got that. You're a user researcher, really good with strategy, and then your biggest impact.
10 more seconds.
Good? Yeah. Yeah.
5 seconds. And time. Please write down everything you remember quickly. Write down everything you remember, and then we'll switch people. Write down everything you remember. Go.
Oh, hands.
All right, we'll switch people in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Next person, go. Pitch. Oh, y'all already finished? Oh, all right. Fifteen seconds. Five seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Write down everything you remember. Write down everything you remember. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're back. Everybody, we are back. We are back. We are back. All right. That's it. Bitch time is over. Okay, fantastic. Everybody, turn back this way. Good. How was that? Good, bad, or okay? Terrifying. Oh, fantastic. What else? That was a great word. Good, bad, okay, terrifying, joyful. What was that? Exciting. You were exciting. All right. Anything else? Went by very quickly. Yes, 30 seconds is very quick. Yep. Absolutely. Okay, so first, terrifying. I'm happy to hear that because the more terrified you are in this type of environment, the less terrified you will be when you get ready to go give a pitch. So it's good to get it out of your system now. The second word was exciting. That's good. I think we've got a natural pitcher over there. And quick, absolutely. So that's why it went by really fast. You want to hit points really quickly because you may only have a person's attention for a few seconds. What you want is them to come back and start asking questions and to want more and say, can I get your card? Can I get your, whatever, your website? Let me go so I can go buy this product or so that I can bring you back in or whatever the thing is, right? So sometimes less is definitely more, okay? Now, did anyone hear a pitch that they felt like was fantastic? Raise your hands. Anybody? You heard a really good one. Okay, will you ask your partner if it's okay if we listen to his pitch? You heard one too? Will you ask your partner if it's okay if we listen to them pitch? Okay, are you cool with it? Can we hear you pitch?
Want me to do it or him to do it?
No, but wait, you were saying that he was the great pitcher. You cool with it?
Sure.
Let's go.
Okay, we all have grocery stores within 5 minutes of each other, right? 5 different grocery stores. Every Wednesday they put out their advertisements on what they have, their specials, their sales, and what you can buy there. A lot of them overlap, some of them don't. If you're a weekly shopper, you'd like to go to a website, a single website, put in your shopping list, or just review what's out there. Check off what you're thinking about buying this week.
15
And
seconds.
that website will automatically tell you where to go, what to get. You can go to one store and get save this much money. You can go to several stores, save that much money. But you've got it all in one place. You don't have to keep hunting all over the place and reading the weekly newspapers ads to see, okay, I'm gonna circle this, circle that, circle that, and try to make a list of your own. That's my idea.
Fantastic. Give him a hand. Fantastic. So
My name is Rebel Sumner.
you better not steal his idea. Okay, so I heard the pain point. Did you guys hear the pain point? Right, going all over the place, trying to find it, right? Like find the coupons and where to all of that. Okay, you articulated the value. I heard these two. This one, the impact, I didn't hear as much. Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Tell me if you guys heard the impact. Pocketbook?
We inferred it.
It was implied. Okay, good. So some people like me don't always connect dots, right? So glad it was implied. Make it really big, the impact, right? So you are going to save a ton of money doing this, right? Or you are going to save so much time. So it's very clear when they're listening to you, and maybe you're in a situation where you're pitching and it's a conference, and so people are hearing a ton of pitches. That's the last piece that I want to hear emphasized, but very, very good. Give them a hand. Are you cool? All right, here we go.
My name is Frances Crouch, and I'm a children's book author. And across America, we know that there is a literacy rates depending upon the region in which you stay. And I help impact that issue with my books. They're not only entertaining, but they're also impacted with the kids learning about healthy living, whether it's through green thumb, healthy living, and how they can. I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
Nope, keep going.
I lost something.
Healthy living, green thumb. You've got 5 seconds.
And this provides impact where they're able to, we can raise the literacy rates with the books that I provide, and they're also not only entertained, but they're learning something, and they can take this content back home with them, express it with their other siblings, and the parents can also find ways to bond with them through the book.
Great.
Sorry.
Give her a hand. Okay, something happened there and it was golden, and I want to bring it up to you all. When you are practicing your pitch, practicing for an interview, practicing for a speech, practicing for whatever, where you have it sort of memorized, one of the most amazing things that can happen during practice is you can mess up. Oh my my gosh, messing up is golden because what it shows you is where your brain is not quite connecting to what you're saying. So you never start over. Never say, I'm sorry. Never say, oh, let me start. You didn't say this, but let me start again. Never do that. Use those mistakes. They are golden. The more the more mistakes you make in practice, the less mistakes you'll make when you're pitching. So use those mistakes. So today, as we're doing things, make sure you always practice your mistakes. We are human. You will make a mistake at some point in time. The brilliance is, and this is what professionals do, they practice those mistakes. You work through the mistakes. You pause if you have to. Let me continue. And then you go from there. But never stop and start over and all that stuff. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for making that mistake. We all are learning from that mistake. So, okay, good. I clearly heard a pain point, illiteracy, clear, okay? You articulated the value, what your book does, how it brings in activities and all these other things. And then the impact, right? You said that it's going to help. I can't remember now because I've been talking too much, but it's basically going to help people to read better, essentially. Do I have it pretty much? Am I missing anything? Oh. Okay. Good, eagerness to read more books. The one thing I want you to do is use a few less words. And I know sometimes when people are nervous, they talk a lot. It's okay to pause, right? So you can say, for example, tell me your name one more time. Francis. And what's the name of your book? Spending Time with Mommy. I love that. Okay. So you can say, hi, I'm Francis. I have a book that I've authored, Spending Time with Mommy. Do you know that the literacy rates in the US are way below average compared to the rest of the world? I'm making all this up, by the way. The literacy rates in the US are way before average, particularly for children ages 3 through 9. Okay? I have created a book that allows children to get really excited about reading. They can practice their reading, but it makes it fun because it's everyday activities. This is going to essentially increase literacy by 5% in the next 5 years. Boom. So the reason you want to use this model when you're pitching to anyone, this is kind of like the general ecosystem when you're pitching to anyone, is because it keeps it clear, it keeps it concise, it keeps people wanting to come back for more, okay? It keeps your thoughts very, very organized, all right? So what I want you to do with the next 2 minutes of your time, pull out your handy dandy notebook that you received. 3 sentences. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Write them out. Those of you on Zoom, please do the same thing. And there's a dog here. You should almost be done with your first sentence. All right, let's move on to the second sentence. Articulate the value. And if you don't have a company, you're doing this for yourself, by the way. Okay, and whatever next opportunity you have. Yes.
I was on a work call, so sorry.
Oh.
Could that be the same thing for service? So some people don't have a product.
Absolutely. This goes for
Yeah.
individual, service, product.
Okay.
What's the pain point? What's the value and the impact?
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
absolutely. Yeah. All right, we should be finishing up with that second sentence. Moving on to the third sentence. Don't overthink it. All right, a few more seconds and we're done with the third sentence. right, finishing it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Who feels great about their pitch to anyone? You feel great? All right, let's hear it. What's your name? Give them a hand in advance because we know you're going to do great.
Company is Common Sense Validation Consultants.
Okay.
Data integrity is important to drug approval. Systems compliance office audits can assure that data has integrity, and by auditing your vendors for systems compliance, this will improve data integrity, improve the odds of drug acceptance.
Okay, great. Now take that and add what we talked about before. Be enthusiastic, get excited about it. I'm not saying you have to do it like me, but like, please get excited about it. Be enthusiastic. Let me hear it.
Sure. Hello, everybody. I'm Randy Basinger. I'm with Common Sense Validation Consultants. Data integrity is really important to drug acceptance. By doing systems compliance audits, you can assure that your data has integrity. And by auditing vendors for systems compliance, we can make sure that your data does have integrity and there's a higher likelihood of acceptance of your drug product.
The only thing I want you to change, we will. Instead of we can, that last sentence, I want you to say we will. That's what we will do, okay? And then you'll figure out how to make sure you will do it. All right, who else feels great about it? All right now, that's what I'm talking about. Here we go. Hand in advance, hand in advance.
So this one, I'm John Hunting here. So product teams have a lot of hats that they have to wear and a lot of perspectives that they have to consider in order to ensure that their product is successful. They want to conduct research to understand their users' needs and make the best product possible, but how do they get the best bang for their buck? That's where I come in. I serve as a strategic research partner. I can help you plan and scope research intentionally to help you make the most user-friendly product you can while honoring all of the hats that you're wearing as a product person to make sure that the research meets your needs.
Great voice, by the way. I will. Once again, you said that's where I can do something. Yeah, you can. You will do it. I can guarantee you this is what I'm going to do. Okay? Because it gives it a little bit of a different intention. All right? I'm going to have you do it one more time. I want you to pause before the third sentence, right? Before your final sentence, I want you to pause. I want you to look at me in the eyes and I want you to tell me that last sentence.
So product teams have a lot of hats they have to wear and perspectives they need to consider to ensure that their product is successful.
Slow down.
They want to conduct research to understand their users and make the best product possible.
Right.
How do they get the bang for their buck?
Okay.
That's where I come in.
Oh.
So I serve as a strategic research partner.
Okay.
I will help you plan and scope research intentionally to help you make the most user-friendly product that you can have while bringing you along and meeting your product's needs.
Well, bam. I believe you. I believe her. Let's do one final one and then we'll move on. Who else feels great? You feel, put your hand up. Come on, if you feel great, let me hear it. All right.
Hand hurts.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So I got a company that provides customized electronic medical records to the medical field. So Duke, UNC,
Have you started?
Have I started the company?
No, have you started your 3 sentences?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure. Go ahead. I thought you were just talking to me. Okay.
No,
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not trying to sell you.
You should be. You don't know. I know. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, one, the pain point is the cost. Epic, which is really good, but it costs about 40,000 a month, maybe up to 100,000. And customizing it to the specialty, right? So the value is that I came across open source technologies like Red Hat, which is an example, but obviously we're not like Red Hat. So we deal exclusive with recording patient data. And so the open source allows no barrier for cost, right? And because of the fact that the code and the database and all that, those platforms are available for anybody to download, that adds value too, because you can, create your own forms for your own specialty. The impact is very high.
Wait. Those were some long sentences. 3 sentences.
Oh, I got
Only 3 sentences. So look, I'm gonna take you back to here. See these people, I know you were taking a work call. I need to hear passion, conviction, enthusiasm. That's what I'm missing. Secondly, so if we were at a pitch competition, right? You were asking me for money or a sale or anything, you would have probably lost me, right?
Okay.
You gave me way too much background information. That's for me to come back to you and say, look, I've got some additional questions here. And then that's when you dive into those questions.
Okay.
To get the initial excitement of the person on board, you need 3 sentences. Here's what we do. This is the pain, this is why you need us, this is the value, and then this is the impact it's gonna have on the market. You wanna try again?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. Boom.
So how important do you think it is to record your medical data into a platform in a timely manner and accuracy? And how do you know how much the cost is going to be a barrier?
Mhm.
And so we have an open source technology here, which takes care of the cost, as well as you can customize it according to your specialty, because each specialty has different requirements. And finally, the impact on this to you is cost savings, easier to get approval by management, and ultimately, the most important thing, better quality and better data recording for your patients.
We got there at the end. Give him a hand. It was my fault because we didn't do the clap at the beginning with him. So that was my fault. I'm sorry. But no, better. I want you to get it to 3 concise sentences,
Yeah.
right? First, and you're doing what a lot of founders do. You're trying to put way too much information in those sentences. All you're trying to do is give me just a little appetizer, boom.
Basically elevator pitch.
Basically, but not with all the things. Not with all, it depends on who you're pitching in the elevator. If it's like if it's an investor elevator pitch, no. We're talking about right now just pitching to the ecosystem, to anyone. We're talking about potential customers, advisors, like this is the pitch we're talking about for that. Now, we're gonna move on, guys. This is specific to pitching to investors. All right, so I want you all to understand the difference there. This is gonna be a pitch that's a little bit more involved, okay? So a couple of things. Some of you may already know this. If this is duplicative, just listen, right? First, your problem statement, okay? And this is the order of your slides too, if you decide to do slides. Now, for those of you who haven't delved into doing this yet, no worries, just listen. This is still gonna be beneficial for you. For those of you that may be creating some slides to try to get some funding or something like that, go look at the pitch deck for Air, Bed, and Breakfast. They have one of the most simple, clear, concise pitch decks you will ever see. And they went out and they raised with that pitch deck, okay? So that's just an illustrative example when people are like, I wanna see one and what it looks like. Go look at that one, I like that one. But anyway, so your problem statement, right? Have you clearly defined the problem that you all are gonna solve? Just really clearly define it. That may seem like a no-brainer, but a lot of times people come up with the solution first and then try to match it to a problem. They're like, I got this cool thing I can do, and then go try to find a problem for the solution. That typically doesn't work as well. Second, what is the solution? Very clear. How is your company's product or service going to solve this? Okay. Next, the market opportunity. What's the potential here, right? Like, oh man, I have a company that has created a new way that the toilet paper rolls off of the roll. This is going to affect every American household, and it's only growing because the population is growing. Whatever, you make it up, okay? The competitive advantage, what makes you different? I thought through these slides again this morning, I would add the word sustainable here. What is your sustainable competitive advantage? Because sometimes when you enter the market, there's things as an individual, as a company, there's things that seem to be a competitive advantage at first, right? On Monday, we're the only ones doing this. On Friday, you have a competitor. Well, that wasn't very sustainable. So what is your sustainable competitive advantage? Your team, obviously you and any partners that you have, any advisors, anyone on your team, financial projections, realistic and well-supported financial forecast. Guys, I got a deck. The guy was like, it's $1 trillion opportunity. I was like, wow, with no data to support that. And if you tell me if it's $1 trillion opportunity, I'm going to need to know how, why, or I'm going to probably not take you seriously, right? And then finally, your ask. I can't tell you how many people forget to ask. They do a presentation and I'm like, so what do you need? Oh yeah, I want to ask for some money, or I want to ask for a strategic partnership, or I want to ask you to introduce me to customers, or I want you to post something on your page about me. I mean, whatever the thing is, right? Make sure you're really clear about your ask. So this is kind of the format that investors like to see specifically when you're going to them for investment. And let me tell you something that I didn't know when I started my first company, that had I known, I probably would have had a decent exit. It's not just technology companies that get investment. Okay? If you think you have something and it can grow, it's not just tech. It's direct to consumer, it's CPG, it's services companies, it's all different types of things that people are wanting to invest in. So take your company seriously. A lot of people, they come to me, they're like, but it's not it's not technology specific. I mean, we're all using technology to move faster and better and stronger and all of these things, but it does not have to be a SaaS B2B tech solution. I just want to be really clear about that. There are investors that invest in other things. So problem, solution, market opportunity, competitive advantage, team, financial projections, and your investment ask. Now, how do you get a call back from an investor, a potential investor? A couple of things. Is your deck concise, right? I want to see words on your deck, but I don't want you to essentially take like 3 pages of paragraphs and just move them onto a deck. That's a lie, right? I want it to be clear. I want it to be concise. I want you to have thought through what's necessary for the deck and what you could have removed, all right? Do you have a strong value proposition? You are solving a real problem. And the reason I'm emphasizing this is because you guys know with the proliferation of AI, I can't tell you how many founders are are creating these cool AI chatbots and all this other stuff. And it's like, oh, that is so neat. What problem is it solving? It's not really solving a problem. It's just a cool feature, right? And so what I love about you in this room, a lot of you have those old school business problems that you're solving, real problems. I need someone to paint my house. I need someone to get on top of my roof and do something. I need someone to, babysit my kids or whatever it is. These are real world problems, right? So make sure you have a strong value prop, the market validation. Data or proof is better if you've already started your business that there's demand for your company, right? And so a lot of times before people get started, it's simply researching. But you need to have some type of proof that people want what you're selling, okay? And there's a ton of really cool ways to do that. We can talk about that more afterwards. Some of them go from very kind of like low-hanging fruit, like, hey, here's the company I'm starting, here's the landing page, sign up here if you're interested in learning more when we launch, all the way to here's the company, we're launching in 2 months, there's a wait list, put your credit card information in if you want the product. And the more skin they have in the game, the more you know there's a desire and a want for your company. If people put their email address in, yeah, we kind of pass out our email addresses all the time. But if people put a credit card in, you know you're in business. You've got something, okay? Team expertise. I need to know your team is passionate and has expertise in this domain. It's really, really important. That doesn't mean that whatever company you start, you have to be the professional in it, but it does mean you need people around you who have that particular skill set, and you need advisors, and you're surrounded by people who can help you with the expertise piece. And then financial projections, right? Oh, oops, hold on. Financial projections, right? Realistic and well-supported forecasts showcasing your growth potential. So at the end of the day, when someone looks at your financials, I understand that you're always going to be growing. What you send to me, you're going to say, next year we'll grow by 100%. The year after that, we'll grow by 200%. And then after that, we're off to the races. We get that, right? Of course, you're optimistic. But more importantly, if you tell me, I have a solution and I'm going to need to bring on a CTO in the next 2 years, and then you come to me and ask for $100,000 to grow, and you're not asking anyone else for money, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that you're not being an intelligent investor because you're not really counting the cost of what it's going to take to get your product or your service from A to B. So make sure you think through all of those things and don't under ask because you want to be polite. Investors want to know, like, hey, I'm going to shoot straight with you. this is how I want to get to profitability, but it's going to take this many years and I'm going to need this much money to get to profitability. And we know, okay, you've thought through it, so you haven't undercut yourself. Any questions on either of those slides? Yes.
Curious for like financial projections, how do you differentiate? I'm thinking like Shark Tank, like, oh, my product's been selling for a year. Clearly you can give them a map of how your product's done, but what if it's just an idea?
Okay. Good question. And I realize I haven't been repeating the questions for the people in the chat. My man, what's your name? Ryan is essentially asking, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you're asking like, okay, you get the financial projections kind of if you've already been running your company, but if you're starting something new or you have an idea, then how do you create those financial projections in a realistic way? Is that what you're asking? Okay, great question. So at the end of the day, and we can certainly talk offline about this, and I'll give you an example. I don't have it here in the deck, but essentially there is a bottom up type of build, and then there's a top down type of build, okay? The easier one is the top down. So a lot of times before there's a product or service, people will do the top down. So essentially they say, somebody actually, let's use your creativity for a second. Somebody tell me a service or a product, and this can be totally made up, that your or whoever your friend will invent. Somebody just shout something out. It can be anything. Give me something.
Pet weddings.
Pet weddings.
Yes.
What do you mean pet?
Like boutique pet weddings. You
Oh,
know?
pet.
Yeah,
Pet.
you know,
Okay, like
Family
pet weddings.
celebration for your dog.
Okay, celebration for your dog. Pet weddings. I thought you said pet. I'm like, patty cat. Okay, pet weddings. Okay, so fantastic. So this is how I will build those projections. I would say all of this information is made up. Don't forget, guys, I'm making this up. I don't know the data on the pets. I would look it up. So let's say there are 10 million pets in America. I could probably totally off. There are 10 million pets in America. Each family spends about, let's make the example easy for me, $1 per pet. That's $10 million in the ecosystem, okay? No, let's say $10 per pet. That's $100 million in the ecosystem. Out of those pets, half of them are dogs. That leaves 5 million pets. And of those 5 million, 2 million of those dogs are going to want to get married. That's 1 million dog weddings right there. I believe at 1 million dog weddings, people are typically spending $10 per pet. I believe I can make, how many, is that $10 million? Did I say that right? 10 million, 100 million, wait, 10, what did I say? 1 million weddings, $10 each, I can make $1 million. $10 million. Sorry, guys. Clearly, I was not ready for the pet. I can make $10 million, okay? So that's a top-down approach. So basically looking at the whole ethos and what money is currently being spent in that whole ecosystem, right? Then going down from there, and that is the total available market. Then parsing it down from there. Well, here's the part of the market that is serviceable to me. This is kind of the serviceable market, right? And then you take it down from there. This is the market that I think I will be able to capture. And you'll have to use some type of logic with why you think you can capture that much. So for example, let's say you're like, hey, I'm a world-renowned pet person. And right now, if you look on Instagram, out of everybody with pets, 5% of the people come to me to get answers. So I think I can get 5% of the market share. Or I'll make some strategic partnerships. Me, I have 5% of the market share, and this person over here who's starting the company with me has 10% of the market share. So we think we can grab 15% of the market share at this number. It just has to make sense, right? We understand, particularly for pre-seed companies that are just kind of ideating, we understand that these are just projections. Okay, does that answer your question? That's the top-down approach. We'll talk about the bottoms-up approach at another time. That one is a little bit more difficult to do, but the top-down is where most people start. Yes.
Yeah, real quick question on the previous slide.
Uh-huh.
You're talking about the ask, which is not necessarily financial,
Mhm.
strategic partnership.
Yeah.
Is that inclusive of getting feedback on a proof of concept?
I I mean, absolutely. I would say, are you talking about for investors or who are you talking to?
Investors, you know?
Sure. If that's the case, I would ask them, hey, I would start with an investor that I have kind of a relationship with, right? Hey, I want to talk about something with you. Let's grab a coffee chat. I'll send over my deck in advance and then get their perspective and their kind of feedback like that. I wouldn't use an investor meeting where they're getting on a call with you expecting to like talk about other things, right? Like they're looking at like, is this a company I'm interested in? Could I invest in them or what can I do for them? I would use those calls probably for like big asks, like, hey, I need you to connect me with, can you connect me with potential customers? Can you provide some funding? I would probably say those, but if it's someone you have a relationship with and you just kind of want feedback, then I would do that with those
And I want to
folks.
be clear, it's a well-developed proof of concept. It's not like brainstorm with me, because that's ridiculous. That's a waste of time.
Yeah.
They wouldn't like, they were like, why should I invest
I
in
mean,
you? You don't
even-
even know what you want to do.
I think even if it's a well-developed proof of concept, in the back of your mind, you should still have something
Yeah,
specific
written down.
that you probably want to walk away with, right? And you want to feel like, that investor wants to feel like you haven't wasted their time, so like, they're like, hey, I could invest in this company, potentially. Or I have some sales team people that I could introduce them to. Yeah, got it? All right, you guys ready to move on? Okay, guess what time it is? Pitch practice. All right, great. So pull out your handy dandy notebooks. Let's do it. Oh, you already have them out? Okay, great. So, this is what you're gonna do. One sentence for your problem and your solution. It needs to be in one non-run-on sentence. One sentence for your market opportunity and your competitive advantage. That's two sentences. One, two. A full sentence on your team, on yourself or your team. That's three sentences. A full sentence on the financial projections. And a full sentence on your investment ask. That's 5 sentences. Okay? So, right here, problem statement and solution, that's a sentence. Market opportunity and competitive advantage, that's a sentence. You or your team, which is fine if that's you, that's a sentence. Financial projections are a sentence, and your investment asks are a sentence. These are short, concise sentences, not run-ons with a bunch of commas and dots. Short, concise sentences. Any questions? All right, I will give you, this is a harder one, so I'll give you 2 minutes. Ready, go. You got like 2 minutes. You can do it. Don't overthink it. Go, go, go. As you working the camera, like moving it, pausing it. That's funny. What's this for? Is this for the team? Oh. Okay, you got it. Yeah. And they're like, we see her. How many people are on Zoom, by the way? Oh, nice. Okay. You'll probably have about a minute and a half left. So you should probably be on your second to third sentence now. Remember, if you don't know the data, just for illustrative purposes, make it up, okay? And then you can go back and fill it in correctly later. You just need the outline. All right, we should be through 1 and 2 completely, finishing up 3, heading down to the 4th sentence, your financial projections. I love the focus. All right, finishing up those financial projections. Let's get down to our investment ask. That's your fifth sentence, your investment ask. All right, take a few more seconds to start from the beginning. Read it to yourself. You should have 5 sentences. Five sentences. All right, 10 seconds. All right. Fantastic. Okay, this is what I need for you to do. We're done with our writing. I need for you to all, and if you do it at the same time, it won't be weird. You can face the side, you can do whatever you need to do, but I need everyone to read it out loud to kind of like, it'll be a lot of noise in the room, but I want you to actually read it out loud. Okay, I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, so that you're all reading at the same time. No one's listening to you. Just go ahead and do it yourself. Ready? 3, 2, 1, read it. I am creating, the problem that I'm trying to solve is, there's a solution though, and the solution to that is, and let me talk to you a little bit about the market opportunity. We are strategically positioned. Now, let me give you a little bit about my background. This is what we think the financial projections will be. And here's what I need from you. All right, bring it to a close. Great. Here's the issue. Half of you are reading out loud, half of you are reading in your head. We're gonna do that one more time. I need everyone to read out loud. There's a reason I'm asking you to do this. I promise you there's a method to my madness. Not like you just want to hear it sound crazy. No, I promise. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So here's the problem that we're solving. We essentially are, read it with confidence, please. The solution to this is a product that we have essentially created. It is called, now we believe this is a huge market opportunity. Now, there are other competitors out there. I'll tell you that. However, this is what we do differently than anyone. Keep it loud, keep it loud, keep it loud. Here's our team. We have experience in these areas. Now, this is how we think we'll grow. We are looking for $200,000 of investment. Okay, great, fantastic. Now, the reason I had you do that is because I cannot tell you how many people practice their pitches in their head. And when your ears hear your voice saying it, your ears are like, I don't know what this is. You could have practiced it 1,000,000 times in your head. But if you do not practice it out loud and allow your ears to hear what's coming out of your mouth, you will mess up because it's the first time your ears have heard you say it. So make sure when you're practicing your pitches, you are practicing them out loud. Okay, got it? Got it? All right, fantastic. So let me just really quickly go through these last couple of slides because we only have a couple minutes left. I'm hoping you will go take your pitch. You will practice it at home. You will put the right information in there. Actually, you know what? We got to hear one, just one person. Who feels good about it? Just one. Nope, nobody feels good about it. Y'all don't feel good about it. Yes, all right. I knew there was one. Let's get it.
And I'm Rick with Big Hand Bell. Every day pets are put down through no fault of their own. Binky and Bell creates and sells cartoon dog art and donates portions of the profits to local rescues and shelters. More than 65% of all families in the US are pet owners and lovers, creating a high market opportunity. Now, we've been creating and selling and supporting local rescues for 11 years, and we project $1 million in sales next year. Here's what I need from you. We're requesting a $250,000 investment for growth in our marketing and logistical areas.
I'm writing my check now. Give him a hand. That was so clear. That was so concise. That followed this framework perfectly, and everybody understood. And they took you through the journey. That's why I like to start with problem solution, right? You went through the emotion of it, right? You started with the story, and then as you came down, this is what makes us different and uniquely positioned. And then it went all the way down to your investment ask. And so that was really, really good. So give them another hand. Whoop, whoop. Thank you. Okay, good. So why are you pitching to the ecosystem? It's not just about money. One, you're looking for mentors. People who can help you get your company to the next level, who've already done it. I don't care what the industry is. They've done it. They can be your mentors. In order for someone to mentor you, they have to be excited about what you're doing. You're looking for industry experts. You want people who have a deep knowledge of your industry to hear you talk about your company and go, there's something I can add there. Let me help you. I have something additional that can help you get to the next level. And then finally, partners. People want to partner with people who are excited, who are enthusiastic about their companies, right? So strategic partners come along, like right now, okay? Maybe I'm Kibbles and Bits. I don't even know if that exists anymore. Farmer's Dog. There we go. The Farmer's Dog. That's a good one. And I say, this is brilliant. Like, I want you to come alongside us. Can we put your stuff on our platform, right? So you want strategic partners. And so this is why you're pitching to the ecosystem. Look, a picture of me instead of random people. Okay, look. So you're building, I was proud of that. Remember, why are we doing this? We're building relationships beyond just funding. So what you want to do, attend networking events. Go to places where your mentors, your partners, your potential customers are going to be. Your community building. This is great for people who are already in your community, people who are potential customers of yours. Build that community around what you're doing. That's so important because people will support you who are in your community. And finally, it's for collaboration, right? Let those partners that I was telling you about, those other companies, they need to be able to find you. And the more you're out in the ecosystem, they can find you. So finally, this is the winning formula from my perspective, someone who sat on both sides of the table. Your passion plus your preparation plus your connections equals success. And I want to remind you, this is what you're looking for, success. Smiles, hands in the air, waving them around like you just don't care, confetti. You guys remember that? That's happening again here. This is my picture of success. So passion, be super passionate, believe in your company, believe in your mission, believe in what you're doing. Be prepared. When you go to pitch, I'm telling you, have structured pitches, be concise, be clear. Do an activity where you take out as many words as you can from your pitch and still get the same point across, okay? And then finally, those connections. You're looking for mentors, you're looking for strategic partners, you're looking for, people in the ecosystem to build relationships with, advisors. If you put all of those together, I am confident that each one of you will be successful. Thank you for your time. Are there any additional questions I can answer for you? I can. Sure. The one with my picture. Or you want to ask it out? You think it's helpful to the, okay.
Speaking from sort of the job hunting perspective, thinking about that framework for pitching to investors and switching it to pitching to employers, what would you suggest as the equivalent for the ask part, that last step?
Yeah, good question. Like, I'm asking for a job. Okay. But I mean, essentially, like, that's a joke, but like, it's serious too, right? So essentially, something to the effect of, you know, I believe I'm a perfect fit for this role. I want you to give me 1 year to turn the company around based in this role. Or I want you to give me 6 months. In the next 6 months, I want you to give me 6 months with this company. Give me the tools and resources that I need. Give me a team that's willing to work, and I will get this result for you. So maybe that could be an ask if you're like, basically hire me.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're making it a little bit more compelling than people that are in the room just waiting and like saying, okay, thank you for the interview. Like, ask them for it. Okay, any other questions? Yes. Oh, you can yell? Okay, she can yell.
What's the company you're really proud of investing?
Well, a company I'm proud of that we've invested in is Planted. Planted just did a $200 million deal with D.R. Horton. They are essentially a materials company. So they create this wood that it's a proprietary set of ingredients. They grow some grass and somehow they turn it into wood. I have no idea, but the wood is broken ground with D.R. Horton. They are using it for the roofs. It's 5 times more durable than like regular wood against flooding. No carbon footprint. Much better for the environment. SpaceX guys, that's a company I'm proud of. One other one I'll mention is a company called Keep Company. That was my first deal, female founded company. They are essentially a solution for caregivers who are in the workplace. Caregivers meaning you're caring for your spouse, you're caring for your child, you're caring for your parents, anybody, caregivers, to help them cope with kind of the work-life balance. And essentially they are decreasing retention rates at organizations like consulting firms, law firms, things like that. So those are 2 that I'm really, really proud of. And I didn't use a framework. Sorry, guys. I just kind of told you. Did not practice what I preach. Woo! All right. Anything else? Last one.
The long-winded people,
Uh-huh.
besides putting a timer
Uh-huh.
with a little crazy alarm, where
Uh-huh.
done, or writing it down in script and practicing, is there any other third, fourth technique?
Okay, with the timer piece, one of the things you don't want to do, I just want to say this. I've seen it happen on big stages like Venture Atlanta. They say, you have 3 minutes to do this pitch. And instead of cutting the pitch down, they go, okay, great. So my name is, and no one gets any of it. No, like literally no one hears any of it because it takes our brains a minute to process. You have got to go through, write your pitch down, and then you have to X out phrases and words that are not critical to the story. I know you think it's all critical because
That's the problem.
it's your baby, which I disagree with people calling their business their baby. We can talk about that later. All the founders get mad at me when I say that. But yeah, you're gonna have to go through and X out anything that is not critical. You can go to people, maybe in this environment that don't know your company, figure out from them what's critical, what's not critical, but you've got to exit out because you'll lose people. And you'll start to, your product, it'll start to glaze over their head. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you guys. I'll be around for questions. Great job. Thank you. Was it? Okay, good. Was the format okay? I know it was different for them. I'm starving. I'm glad I saved food.
So we have challenges because we work for a nonprofit organization. So
Mhm.
our pitch is our pitch. However, it also has to align with the organization.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, this is interesting.
So what would you be using when you say our pitch is our pitch, you mean like a person? What do you mean?
So we would talk to organizations,
Mhm.
and volunteers, tell
Mhm.
people about our program.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Have
there's
sites come in.
Mhm.
So we have, I mean, the office has told us